Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about salts. First we want to describe a neutralization reaction, then we want to describe salts. At the end we want to name some example or give examples of salts and where we can use them. Before we start our lesson, I want you to think if your stomach start to make a lot or produce too much of acid, that causes what? A discomfort, right? So you take like antacid. This antacid can help you to feel better. What happens when you take these tablets? Actually, what happens? It's called a neutralization reaction. What is it? Your stomach produces acid. What you take like something base to neutralize the acidity of your stomach. So that's why you feel better. So what is a neutralization reaction? Is the reaction between an acid and base in a water solution. So again, a neutralization reaction, what is it? A neutralization reaction here is a reaction between acid and base to produce salt and water. So what are the products from this reaction? Two products. The first product is salt, the second product is water. So here again, two products of a neutralization reaction are water and salt. Water molecule form, how it form when the hydrogen ion from the acid combine with the hydroxide ion from the base to make a H2O. Look at this one here to understand it. You have, for example, a reaction between hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. Hydroxylic acid, it's an acid. Sodium hydroxide, it's a base. So these two, when they react together, what happened here? Look at this one. This hydrogen from hydrochloric acid, it will combine with hydroxide from the sodium hydroxide to form what? Water molecule. And the chlorine here from hydrochloric acid, it will combine with sodium and sodium hydroxide to form a salt, which is NaCl. So this is a neutralization reaction. I'll give you another example. For example, here you have a reaction between calcium hydroxide, this one calcium hydroxide, which is CaOH by 2 plus hydrochloric acid HCl. The sodium hydroxide, the calcium hydroxide, it has here hydroxide. It will combine with hydrogen from HCl to form H2O, water. And calcium, it will combine with chlorine to form a salt, which is what? Calcium chloride. Okay, so these are the neutralization examples of a neutralization reaction. But put in your mind, it's not only hydrochloric acid for sure is the acid. Maybe it's sulfuric acid, maybe it's nitric acid. All of these are examples of what? Of acid. But and maybe it's not only sodium hydroxide. It might be what? Potassium hydroxide. It depends. What is the type of what? The acid and the base that you have. If they react together, in general, they will give salt and water. Okay. Now here, what is a salt? We're talking about salt. What is the definition of salt? Salt is an ionic compound. Look at it. It's an ionic or not. Here NaCl is the salt here. Na, it's a metal. Cl is a non-metal here, so it's an ionic compound. The same thing for calcium chloride. It's an ionic compound. Okay. That forms from the negative ion of the acid. So look again back. Negative ion from the acid here in ACl, which is chlorine, negative ion from the acid, from hydrochloric acid, and positive ion from what? From the base. The base, it gives what? The positive ion. This part is very important, from the base. Here, the identity of the salt that forms in a neutralization reaction depends on what? On the identity of the acid and base. Yani which salt that you have, it depends which acid that you have and which base that you have. Here, I'll give you another neutralization reaction. Another neutralization reaction, if you have a metal carbonate, it's like calcium carbonate, sodium carbonate. These are metal carbonate. And acid, okay, they will form salt, water, and carbon dioxide. So look again at this one. We took the neutralization reaction in general, base with acid. But here what do I have? I have metal carbonate. I want to react it with acid. Also it will form salt, but what? Water, and something extra here is given. It's called carbon dioxide. Example, if you have calcium carbonate, this is metal carbonate because calcium carbonate, CO3 is carbonate, Ca is the calcium. Okay, when they react with hydrochloric acid, which is HCl, they will form calcium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide. So if you have any type of metal carbonate with acid, they will form 3 products here, not 2. It's also a neutralization reaction, but here how many products they will be formed? 3 products. The third product is carbon dioxide. You will see bubbles. These bubbles, or you will hear fizzing sound from what? From carbon dioxide. Actually, the salt, it's not only one type, not the salt that we eat only, not only the sodium chloride. Okay, there are different types of salts and we can use them. They have many uses in industry and in homes. Examples: sodium chloride. Sodium chloride that we eat to season your food. Also to make what? Baking soda. So the first example, this one is important. Sodium chloride to make baking soda as well as to season your food. The second example of salt, sodium nitrate. It's a salt, okay, and that to preserve food. It's used to preserve food. The third example, calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate here is used to make a plasterboard, which is an important component in the construction of homes and building. The fourth one, calcium chloride. All of these are examples of salts. I'm talking about examples of salt. Calcium chloride is used to help keep ice from forming on roads and sidewalks in winter. The last one, which is calcium sulfate, can be compressed into color sticks of chalk used by artists. These examples, you have to memorize them. They are important. All of these, they are formed from a neutralization reaction, from a reaction from between acid and base, or metal acid and base mainly. And maybe they might be formed from metal carbonate and acid. So we have 2 ways to produce salts. It might be acid with base, okay, in general, as we talked before here at the beginning, acid with base, okay, or it might be metal carbonate and acid. They form also what? They form a salt. To make sure that you understand the lesson, I'll give you a worksheet number 5. Okay, you have to solve it. It's a homework. Also, you have a question 22 on page 287. Also questions lesson review on page 289. you have to send them as Word document to my email, and if you have any question you can send me your question. Thank you for listening.